podcast anybody has ever listened to.
Yeah, should be good. Oh, flipping heck, Tebbs.
We haven't done one yet, but it's going to be the best ever.
I think we're going to this anyway, right? Listen to this. Last night, so I went to it got to like the Braun Strowman match. I thought, what am I doing staying up watching this? Yeah.
Yep.
Right, so I was sat. What am I doing here? I thought, I'm going to bed. I'm not working tomorrow. Dead tired. Thought I'll just get up really early, get work out of the way, and watch it. Right. So it gets to 5 to 8 this morning. Obviously, everything's gone back over here, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Everything's gone back to normal. Do you know what I mean? Like people working and stuff, yeah? 5 to 8. I live on at a new build estate at the moment, yeah? Right, so I'm led there half asleep, and I was just dreaming a nice dream, right? And all I heard was... I was like... Jumped up out of my bed. I was like, what is going on? Looked out the window. There's someone drilling the pavements.
What?
Like all the builders were outside my house drilling the pavements. It was like 5 to 8. I was like, oh. So I thought, obviously I'm half asleep from went to bed at 1:30. I was like, oh, what is going on here? And
God, it were a few weeks ago now. I can't remember what it was. It was just as lockdown. I think, oh God, it was like month 2 or something. We were well into lockdown. And I woke up one morning and they were fucking drilling up the pavement outside doing, new cable lines, new internet and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just shouted out, it's fucking Sunday morning.
On a Sunday?
Guy shouts back, it's Monday. I'm like, all right.
It's hard to know.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, sorry, mate, back to bed. That's last thing you need, isn't it? You've got to be digging up pavements at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you got some prick shouting at you. You don't even know what day.
Last thing you want. Right, so let's get into it. Backlash 2020, billed as the greatest match ever. We open up the show with, Hogan Andre, Shawn Michaels Stone Cold, which was definitely not one of the greatest matches ever. So they're going through everything. We've got, This is the greatest show, which has been stuck in my head all day. But yeah, so I don't know, I just want to talk about Edge versus Randy Orton. We'll talk about that, and then we usually talk about the main story, don't we, and then run through it. So yeah, I'm going to let you start, because I said to you, I'm going to put it out there, I thought it was fucking brilliant. So I'm guessing, I don't know, I got your text this morning when I was cleaning windows. I thought, Tebbs has got to love it. He's got to love it. It's fine. I was like, ugh. So
I had just woken up with a hangover, and I'd had a broken sleep through the night, so maybe I wasn't. I'm watching it again as we speak. To be honest, I'm giving it another chance. I just hated the presentation of it, how they brought it to us, the greatest match. What became evident from the opening introductions onwards is that this is what WWE believes to be the greatest wrestling match ever. What constitutes that? Well, you have Fink doing the introduction. You have the best entrances. You have the crowd noise fully behind it. You have This Is Awesome chants, pulling out all the greats. It was a mixtape. It was a now 48 of wrestling matches. It was just... and I just couldn't get into it. I just didn't like that I'm being told that this is the best. If they'd have said beforehand, this is what we think is the greatest wrestling match. But when something's pre-recorded and edited, I'm just watching a performance. And you know what? Yes, it is a good wrestling match. Hands up, I was wrong. It is a good wrestling match. It's fun to watch, but I just don't like... I'm a miserable bastard. I don't like being told, you'll enjoy this. Go watch this. You will enjoy this. This is the best one ever. Straight away, that gets my hackles up, and I just go, no, it's not. I'm not enjoying it. So I was I was in a mood with the rest of the card last night. I thought it was horrendous, to be honest. Look, watching it back, yeah, it is a great match. It is good fun. And they do hit all the right notes. And for a guy that's had 2 wrestling matches in 9 years, Edge is very impressive. So I take it back. I was grumpy.
I think I had the best shout, me. Going to bed. I was watching, I thought, I'm not concentrating here properly. Going to bed. And I've woke up this morning after that shock of the pavement being drilled. And I was like, positive. Not positive, but I was watching it. I watched Drew versus Lashley, which was all right. And I thought, oh, it's okay. So I could proper concentrate. Whereas if it was like 2 a.m, I just watched 2 hours of shit. Like, I had the attitude last night, if anyone was on our Twitter, of just fuck WWE, fuck all the stupid fans, fuck Ryan Satin. I was arguing with fans on Twitter because I just thought, I hate, what annoys me is when people watch WWE matches, yeah, and they're like, oh, this was a killer match. Oh, this was a great match, right? And it's like, some like weirdos on Twitter are like, well, it's his opinion. And it's like, look, yeah, you can have an opinion, yeah, right? If you want to say to me the match was all right, I'm saying it was shit, you're saying it was all right, fair enough. But if I'm going through Twitter and I see it was a killer match, I'm thinking, I'm going to get to watch a great match here. So it's just telling, the amount of times I've like missed a pre-show match and I've seen Ryan Saturn or one of these bellends, sorry mate, saying, oh, great match. I'm thinking, oh, I should have watched that. So what I'll do, I'll go back and watch it. I'll be like, it was all right. So when I see him now portraying a match that's okay as great, there's nothing annoys me more than someone portrays a match that is in no way, shape or form anyone can say it's great and you're saying it's great. Pisses me off. But
yeah, the rest of the card was just that, and that was getting me more and more pissed off seeing people on Twitter. And this isn't have a go at everybody else on Twitter, but people saying, what an amazing match that was. That was brilliant, though. The Raw tag team bit was absolutely hilarious. No, it wasn't. It wasn't hilarious. It was crap. It was filler. It was a 2.5 hour long pay-per-view that had a 30-minute cinematic dumpster fire. And yeah, you're absolutely right. People going, and I've been sat with you in Madison Square Garden seeing one of the best wrestling matches. They were killer matches, and they put them shows on. New Japan put them shows on. Even AEW put on fantastic matches because they've got great talent. They don't need to build an entire pay-per-view around pulling the finger out once in a while and putting on a decent match. That was WWE's gimmick last night was, we're actually going to show you a good product. Well, fucking bravo. Why don't you try doing it every fucking week? Why do you have to make such a big deal out of producing something? Do you think a chef will burn all his food every week and then go, it's all right because on Sunday night I'm going to serve you the best plate of food ever? Well, actually, you've got a lot of talent in that kitchen. Maybe you could do it every week for us. And it just shows what WWE are capable of. And they serve up 7 matches of shite to make the main event look better. And that's what pissed me off as well. So, yeah, it was the whole pay-per-view I was more down on last night. But Reg. All right, Reg. Edge, Randy Orton. Yeah, it was a great match. And if it was live, I'd have been even more impressed.
Yeah, see, Tebbs, I started the match and I thought, it'll be all right, whatever. And I'm watching it and I'm thinking, I'm liking it. Like the fair people, I think I spoke to Neil. Neil's like, the first 15, 20 minutes was boring. And I didn't think it was. I was watching it and I thought, do you know what? I'm just picturing, say, an Okada match. And Okada's the best wrestler, well, one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I'm thinking, some of these New Japan matches, yeah, that go long, the first 15 minutes can be fucking boring. I didn't think this was boring. I don't know if it's because it was in WWE and I'm not used to seeing that, but I'm watching it and I'm thinking, straight away you can tell they're going to go long. And I'm just watching, I'm thinking, do you know what? Edge is way better than he has any right to be. I'm watching Orton. I'm thinking, this is why people say about Orton, oh, he's great. People will watch Orton for years and are like, no, he's not great. He doesn't put on great matches, but he has the capability to do, clearly. But one thing I just thought, Edge looked great, even aesthetically. He come out, he looks great. I actually liked the tribute to Howard Finkel. I thought that was a nice touch.
I did, yeah. And if they'd have set us up to the set audience expectations that this was going to be a great wrestling match, if they'd said it is going to be components of what we believe to be the best matches all put together. And I think Orton, this is the best match I've ever seen him in, to be honest. He's bored me. It bores me usually. I never get excited for watching a Randy Orton match. And this was a very good match. I just can't get past that it is, very well edited together and we're seeing a performance rather than, a spontaneous match, which takes the shine off of it for me.
See, it doesn't. For me, right, I just love the whole, I think we disagreed with this on the preview show, was you didn't like it, you and Danny, and I was like, I think it's fucking great. They're actually, normally I wouldn't be interested in an Edge Randy Orton match. But like the WrestleMania match, it was like, oh, it's on the card. But because they were going out their way to tell me that this is the greatest match of all time, there's loads of jokes on Twitter about it being, do you know what I mean, laughable.
And even they got into it, which I think we should have seen the signpost that this was not supposed to be taken as seriously as the fans think WWE are putting it on. Because I think, and I was victim of that myself. I was a complete mark for it. They're saying it's the best match. Oh, how could you tell it's the best match? Disgusting. If you'd have thought for 1 second and just thought what WWE is all about, then yeah, it was a component of many other things. I wanted to shit on it, and I did. And, in the cold light of day this morning, hands up, it was a good match. So moving forward then, if every pay-per-view was pre-recorded and edited, so it will only look great, you miss the botches, you miss Bobby Lashley dropping Drew on his head, would you be happy to see wrestling from now on edited rather than a live, spontaneous match?
Don't give a shit. I've listened to a podcast on this. I don't care. I don't need to know how a film's made or how this scene was made or how, do you know what I mean? I don't need to know. I just judge what I watched on that TV this morning. For me, I'm sat there. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to know the inner workings. Wrestling was better before we all knew the inner workings and the call and the match and this. That was all better. I don't give a shit how the match is made. Like I heard Dave Meltzer say, he can't rate this match on his rating systems. Fucking bollocks. He can fucking rate the match. The match was the match. Just take it. For me, I don't know. I feel like I don't need to take WWE that seriously anymore. I've had the stages where like, do you know what I mean? I'm thinking this is bollocks. I just want it to be better. It's done. It's never going to be better. You just get the positives out of it. And I think the whole slogan was good. I like the catchy song. I like the fact there was a hook for the match. I was actually interested in what they did going in. Were they just going to swerve us and make it shit? No, they went out there. They gave 44 minutes Edge versus. If someone had said, right, in 6 months' time, Edge and Randy Orton are going to have the 44-minute wrestling match. 46, 47-year-old Edge would be like, whoa, that is going to be fucking terrible. And instead, I just thought it was greatly wrestled. Sure, they might have done some retakes. Don't give a shit. What I watched in 20 years' time, like, I don't know, say I have a son, which I don't want another kid, so I doubt I will. Say I have a son, and he watches this match, and he goes, what was that bit? He's not going to know that. Do you know what I mean? He's just going to take it for what it is. Like, I could watch a match from 20 years ago, right? Not might know, like, how it came about or whatever. And I just thought, I personally enjoyed watching that match more than I enjoyed watching Okada Ibushi at the Tokyo Dome. This match was better than the Daniel Bryan AJ Styles match on Friday. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Sure, they did it the proper way. Yeah, they did it the proper way. Some people might say the proper way is not pre-rehearsing your spots. You call it all in the ring. 10, 15 years ago, people would have said that. This just might be a new way to do a match. Do you know what I mean? If you can work the way, do you know what I mean? I just think this match, if you take it for what it is, I thought it was fucking brilliant.
Look,
I just loved everything about the match. I think Randy Orton was amazing in the match. I think he was the star of the match. Edge kept up with him. He was great. The little things, like I've got my notes here. Sometimes on a note, I won't have any notes. I'm looking at my notes and I'm just like, there's loads of little things. I love the spot at the start, where Orton trips up Edge at the start. That plays into the story of, oh, this guy's really good at wrestling. Am I as good? Can I still do it anymore? Orton got one over on Edge because he's been doing it for the last 9 years. Edge hasn't been. Plays into the story. And then they throw him on the table. And I was like, did that just happen in WWE? You know what I'm going to say? Randy Orton whispers into Edge's ear, I'm going to fucking kill you, motherfucker. I was like, oh my God, that is fucking brilliant. And then you've got Orton doing the two amigos. Edge counters it into the three amigos. Do you know what I mean? Tribute to Eddie Guerrero. That was the point of the match where you knew Edge could keep up with Orton.
I put on Twitter, absolutely. That's the point where you know he can go one better. And I did like the storytelling. As the match evolved, I put on Twitter saying how they do the three amigos in honor of Eddie. And within about a minute or two later, Edge puts the crossface on Orton. And I was waiting for the commentators to say who's that in memory of, but I doubt it. But I loved all. You are.
They're not going to do that, but like we said, where you have it.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
That's right. I'm just saying where you have like the throwbacks to Angle. Do you know what I mean? The Angle in the bit. WWE don't do stuff like this. Bits of storytelling. Angle a few weeks ago on Raw says he thinks that Edge is going to win the match. So Orton hits the Angle slam. I just think it's just little things like that. Christian was involved in the build-up. The Unprettier gets hit. Didn't really like the bit where they did the rock bottom. You had little touches, and Edge's facials were brilliant the entire match. You had him checking his teeth after he hit the pedigree. That plays into the history of Randy Orton. I'm thinking, WWE, Vince McMahon can't afford this match. Whoever laid this match out, people shit, I mean included, on the, what they call the fucking, do you know what I'm saying? The agents, yeah?
Yeah, bookers or whatever, yeah.
The agents did a fucking great job. Sorry for swearing. They did a great job on this. I just feel like all the little touches were brilliant. I don't care if they edited it. I just think everything was brilliant about this match. And the ending, Tebbs, this just makes it even more... Like you had him kicking out of the RKO. You had kicking out of that. Do you know what I mean? Everything played into it. You got that final 5 minutes you get in these New Japan match. Everyone does backflips over that. I'm sorry, this is more entertaining than the majority of New Japan matches I watch. And I'm a fucking bigger New Japan fan probably than WWE fan. But when WWE do it, no one does it better. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I don't know if you say, oh, it's only 3.5 on fucking whatever system you're rating it on. It was fucking brilliant. The ending was, right, this is where watching, we've sat through shit over years, sort of pays off for 9 years, yeah? I've watched Randy Orton tease doing that punt to the point where I'm thinking, why is he even teasing it? They're not going to let him do it. And it all builds up to that moment in the greatest match ever where he actually does the punt that he's been teasing doing for 9 years. And when he hit it, my instant reaction was I'm sat on my chair over there and I literally just jumped up. I was like, oh my God. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's meant to do. And I just thought, I can't remember the last time I watched a WWE match where I had those emotions. When the match had finished, it was about 9 o'clock UK time this morning when I'd finished the match, yeah? And I needed to go to work. And instead, I was sat on my phone messaging people thinking, who the fuck can I ring to talk about this? I'm fucking messaging a girl on my phone saying, oh my God, the match last night was amazing. She don't give a shit about this match, yeah? It was just, I don't know. As you can see, I was quite enthusiastic by it. When Orton hit that punt, I was like, this is great. I loved this match. And then the little touch after where Edge is like sparked out and Orton just goes, go home, Adam. Go home. I was like,
go home to your wife. I just love your enthusiasm about it. I mean, like you just said about Twitter, look, there's some people who like it, some people who hate it. You've got your opinion. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone got one and everybody else's stinks apart from your own. But I just love hearing you talk about how enthusiastic you are for it. For me, I was probably on a downer last night. I was in the wrong frame of mind, so I didn't enjoy it as much as you did. But the fact is, if they've done this for you, who is a lifelong wrestling fan who loves the product, loves everything about it, you wanted to be surprised, and you were. That it absolutely did the job, and it has to be credited for that. So I'm just glad that people have been entertained. It's great fun. Good, yeah.
You see Mansoor, he was fucking losing his mind.
He was going wild, wasn't he?
I was like, yes, even Mansoor's loving this match. But I tell you what, I do want to complain about one thing, right? Why the fuck me, I've sworn a lot. I'm passionate about this match. I loved it, right? Why in a match where you've got the crowd in the palm of your hands, you can get this crowd to do what you want. Why are the crowd chanting, let's go, Orton?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, why are you chanting that? This guy has RKO'd his wife, yeah? He spoke about his kids. He's been a horrible... If I'm Randy Orton gets annoyed by fans these days. You can tell he's like a bit more... Like Randy Orton's thinking, I'm doing all this fucking heel work and you're chanting my name. Do you know what I mean? Orton's not the sort of guy who's going to want to hear stuff like that.
What did you think about him piping the crowd noise over then? It's the first time I've seen that with a wrestling match.
I didn't see a problem with it.
It was off-putting at first, only because it's that kind of thing of, you're hearing a crowd noise and you don't have a crowd there. I think it worked. I do think it worked. Watching it back, watching it again, it worked very well. If they'd used the same football, soccer, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Football, get it fucking don't say the
English football.
It's just football.
Are looking at doing the same with EA Sports that do the crowd noises for the games, the FIFA games. And they're using the same tech where when the ball moves into a certain field of play, the crowd get louder and whatever. This worked very well. This was better than the crowd noises you hear on a WWE 2K game. So if they're going to keep doing this from now on, I'd like them to do it at pay-per-views. Maybe hold off doing it for Raw and weekly shows. But it worked for me. I could, yeah. If anything, to drown out the NXT lot in the crowd, to be honest, because
they're a bit graining, aren't they?
I mean, at one point they were chanting, "You got pissed on" to Sheamus. I know we'll come on to it, but
that made me laugh. And
they stopped after about 30 seconds because somebody's walking around the crowd. You know, there'll be Matt Bloom or someone just grabbing somebody, going, "No swearing, no swearing, no chanting that. Now's the time you chant this. Chant for Orton. You lot chant for." So it feels very stage managed. So to have that covered over with the crowd noise, it really worked, but they've got to use it sparingly. And we said this about cinematic matches, and this for me was bordering on a cinematic match. And we said at the beginning, when they first did it at WrestleMania, they need to use them sparingly. There's been at least one on every pay-per-view we've seen since. It wouldn't surprise me if Raw on Monday night we've got crowd noise over the whole 3 hours.
Yeah,
and I hope not, because
it'd be live though, won't it? So do you know? Like it was. I'm thinking you watched SmackDown, didn't you, in like 2003, 2004? Do you remember all like the pipes, cheers over everything? It was a lot better than that.
Right. Okay. They still do it. I mean, they still do it up until recently with Roman Reigns, don't they? But that's over the TV feed rather than.
Right.
I'd be interested to know whether they fed that crowd noise into the arena. Into the performance centre.
No, I don't think they really don't. Cause it's like, like what they've been doing. I think it'll be the same sort of thing they use. Like for the German football, they've been using like chants and stuff into it. So
right.
That isn't, I didn't know either, but apparently that isn't actually in the stadium. Do you know another point to this match is, that I was thinking? I thought Joe was fucking good on commentary. Like,
yes.
Not even with what he was saying, but like, there'd be a move or something, and he'd be like, "Oh," he'd just be like getting me like just a bit excited about it. I'm used to like Byron just like saying something stupid, and he's going, "Oh, boys, look!" Do you know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know. Thought he did a really good job without doing the Mauro and Ella effect of, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, and that's the thing about having a wrestler on commentary that can talk. Is Joe injured? Why is he on commentary? I know he broke his.
Thinking the same.
Why are you struggling for talent and you stick Samoa Joe on commentary? But that's the good thing for me about having a wrestler, an ex-wrestler on commentary. Some of the best sort of colour commentators I'm thinking of, Jerry Lawler, for all his faults, he is great on commentary. Macho Man was fantastic. Piper was. Jericho, fantastic. And it's because these guys, even Nigel McGuinness, because they understand what they're watching. And I'm no disrespect to the commentators that haven't been wrestlers for a long time, but even Beth Phoenix as well. They know the moves that are coming up. They can read the match, I think, better than non-wrestling commentators. So, and their enthusiasm comes through. So Joe is going to be, he knows what's coming because he can read a match. He understands what the next bit's going to be, and he gets excited for it because he loves wrestling. And there needs to be more of that. I just hope it doesn't sacrifice Joe's in-ring career because he's a good talker.
Yeah, he's been quite he's had a lot of injuries, hasn't he, since he came up on the main roster. But I was thinking of this, right? So I can't remember. I know I said to you WrestleMania 30. I can't remember the last time, if we're saying this was a great match, which I do think it was. But I can't remember the last time that there was as good a quality of match last on a WWE pay-per-view. I was thinking like the last great WWE pay-per-view match is obviously Undertaker AJ, but that's just completely different. You've got Brian versus Kingston was middle of the show.
Yeah.
Someone said Brian versus Brock, and I think this was better than Brian versus Brock, although I liked it. Yeah. I just can't think of anything. What was the last great WWE? I'm not saying this was. I personally do think it was, but what was the last great match that's gone on last on a WWE pay-per-view? None spring to mind.
No, I cannot think back. On a main roster, I mean NXT. I'd say.
But I mean like main. Do you know what I mean?
Roster. No, yeah. I cannot think of one that's main evented a show.
Rollins versus Lesnar was good, very good at SummerSlam, but
Yeah,
it wasn't on this level. I don't think
it wasn't on this. But again, this is because this was planned and prepped, and I know the other matches are as well. But when you've got so long to plan a match and edit it, and I keep going back to that bit, but I think they've been very lucky in being able to produce something that they know. I'm filling because I'm trying to think of a last decent main event match. I mean, maybe the Survivor Series, three-way tag match that was on last year between NXT, SmackDown, and Raw with the five guys.
It weren't last. It weren't
to
last.
watch. I want to. Was it?
It was Shayna versus.
Oh, it was the women that went on last.
versus,
So in fact, no, I cannot remember one. Yeah, this is probably the best one for a while. Extreme Rules is in trouble, I think, because you're going to compare it to that. SummerSlam needs to have something, and if Edge is out for a while, I'd be interested.
Spoke about that, have we?
No, but I'm interested to know what SummerSlam is going to be then to follow that match, because I've finished watching it now. It's on while I'm talking to you. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was great fun. It was very well done, and it shows the quality.
We've got where was I going with this? So we've got next. I don't know where they're gonna go, because obviously I don't think they'll do another Drew Lashley match. But in terms of with Edge, so Edge is gonna be out for I was looking at it. Triple H. Did Triple H do his triceps? So he did something like that. And I think it's 4 to 6 months. I think you're probably looking at 6 months. So if you say that he's going to be out, the thing is, I think now the thing that you've got, because this match is going to be it's going to be praised pretty much everywhere. It's going to be talked about. You know what I mean? Yeah. People, like I said on the preview show, people in a year's time, no matter what happens with this match, will remember. Do you remember that the greatest match ever build they did? It will be remembered. So when they come to do this third Edge Randy Orton match, I think it will be, the crowd will give it a big chance. So I'm thinking maybe, do you do it at Mania next year? Do you know what I mean? Do you maybe stick the title on Orton, have Edge come back triumphantly in front of what's hopefully 60, 70,000 people, come back at the Rumble, win the Rumble, face Orton at WrestleMania? Do you know what I mean? I don't see why not. People are going to be like, well, we don't want another Edge on Randy Orton match. Why? Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
You know what I mean? The feud's been good. The match at WrestleMania was shit. It was shit. But the build-up, everyone was saying, us included, were saying the build-up to that match at WrestleMania was probably the best on the show. The build-up to this, I've enjoyed. The match was great, so why not cap it off? A year-long feud. I'm sick of WrestleMania matches being first-time matches. WrestleMania and SummerSlam used to be the end of a feud that's built. Yeah? These days, it just seems to be the first match. Like McIntyre-Brock, the first match. And I'd sooner just have a big feud pay off at WrestleMania, but it's just what you do with Orton in the meantime. Do you have him in Drew?
I'd have him win title. I'd have him have a. You can hold that off until TLC in December. Mm-hmm. Have Orton win the title. Have Edge come back in January, win the Rumble, and he stays out of it until So all he has to do is come back into the Rumble in number 30, spear someone, throw him over top. Then he can come back in April for his match against Orton. But that means you've then got to decide, do you give Orton the win or do you put the title on Edge? That's the thing. When it comes to Edge's injury, I seem to remember Dean Ambrose, when he got his, I'm saying Dean Ambrose because when he was in WWE, he got his injury, before he came back and turned heel and did the whole thinking the crowd are diseased, wearing his gas mask. And that was a tricep injury, and I think that was about 6 months.
Yeah, he did. He got a staph infection though. He was meant to be coming back.
Oh, was he? Right, okay.
He was meant to be coming back in May, and then he got a staph infection, and that's why he came back at SummerSlam, didn't he, to team with Rollins. Yes. That's why that was so long. I didn't know myself, but he was on Jericho's. He was on someone's podcast, and he was saying that's why it was so long. Because I think at WrestleMania the year before, everyone was like, oh, is he going to come back the night after Mania? But it got delayed. But do you know what you can see happening? And rushing him back if the Saudi show happens at the end of October, start of November, big payday. I hope they don't blow the third match then in Saudi. But
these two having one final blow-off match, that's got Saudi show written all over it, to be honest. Yeah. Even if they delay it through to November.
I'd sooner have the NXT crowd than the Saudi crowd, because it's every match seems to just be dead there unless it's Mansoor.
I'm just hoping the first show they have back isn't the Saudi show, and no disrespect to the Saudi crowd, but all these bits that they're building up now, KO Rollins or whatever, Edge, Orton, even Taker, AJ Styles has got another one in it if I want to do it. To repay that in Saudi Arabia, in a country which, you know, one of the last times you went, they didn't exactly treat you right. I just don't think it deserves that. You're right, Mania. I'd put Edge on the back burner now. Just get him healed, keep him out of the way until Orton's back in the main event, and then bang, have Edge come back in looking for his. You've got a story there now laid up. The same as what happened with a few of the other matches in the evening. A heel winning isn't the end of the feud for me. Orton winning this has not drawn a line under it, so there's plenty more to come. A rumble leading into Mania would do it justice, and maybe it'll be the exact same story they wanted to tell before lockdown. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I can hear just people like listening to this and saying, yeah, but does this feud need the title? I hate it when people say that. The feud doesn't need the title. Like they said it to me, yeah. I want the biggest feud to be for the title. I hate that saying of, oh, it didn't need the title. Like, people are like, oh, Brock Lesnar v Goldberg at WrestleMania didn't need the title. If that match weren't for the title, I don't give a shit who wins. Do you know what I mean? To me, the biggest feuds shove the title. Like, there's nothing worse than at WrestleMania when the biggest match on the show is like middle of the card, and then you'll have like Roman Reigns versus Sheamus for the title or something where you don't give a shit about it. For me, the biggest feud going into a WrestleMania, can you imagine if Rock Austin at WrestleMania 17 would have just been like, do you know what I mean? A feud in the middle of the show. Look at this. Look at Rock versus Hogan. That should have been main event in the show for the title, not Triple H Jericho. Yep,
100%. Absolutely agree.
We're going to have to talk about the rest of this fucking show now, unfortunately.
It won't take very long.
I know. So it really won't, because we've had half an hour of me praising WWE. This show was. Andrade versus Apollo pre-show was where it all started, wasn't it?
But this is what pissed me off most about the main event. Backlash was the greatest wrestling match ever. The greatest wrestling match, singular, ever. They built the whole thing up. And for me, the rest of this card was, I believe, designed to look weak to make that main event look better.
Could well be.
And it pissed me off because I text you and I said, you don't pay for network, people don't pay for tickets to shows, people don't stay up till 3 a.m. to watch your product to see half-ass shit. Samoa Joe on commentary, Kevin Owens coming out when he's perfectly fit and healthy and in the building, and Kevin Owens is used as a spot. Fiend, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, AOP. The list is endless of the talent that is available and they didn't use to produce. I'm not saying it's the worst pay-per-view. It's the most underwhelming pay-per-view I've seen in a long time.
Oh, see, I disagree. Right? I don't know. Right? Picture a boxing show, yeah? No matter how many boxing shows, or I don't like boxing, I think it's shit, but how many boxing shows where the undercard is, people pay like 20, 30 quid, the undercard is just, do you know what I mean? It's all about the main event. To me, I'd sooner see a shit card with a great main event than just a decent card the whole way through. Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, I thought Double or Nothing. I thought that was pretty boring, really, but we got the Stadium Stampede at the end. So I always think I'd sooner have shit all the way through, a great main event, and then I at least leave the show on a high. How many WrestleManias have had, some really good undercard matches? I think I'm thinking of like the last 3 or 4 really good undercard matches, and then the last 2 hours of shit. We was at WrestleMania 35. Do you know, I'd as soon much had a shit few hours followed by a great main event. But I do know it would be better if everything was great. But I don't know. For me,
if you'd have taken last night, get rid of that Raw tag title bollocks, move Apollo and Andrade up to the main card, put the Daniel Bryan AJ Styles intercontinental match on that card, and then suddenly you've got a cracking pay-per-view, because it's a pay-per-view. You're not tuning in for the Orton Edge match, and you have to sit and watch. As a wrestling fan, so you were watching Backlash, you were watching the pay-per-view. Yes, you tuned in for one. So if you were tuning in for that, why not? Why did you stay up for any of the others when you know you were going to go?
I didn't. I fucked off. I was
but
like,
exactly. But you stayed. But you still watching the matches.
saying.
You watch Raw and everything, because it's all about all the other stories, and it's all about seeing these other fighters. Yes, boxing has undercard, but they're not as famous. Apollo and Andrade, wrestling fans know who they are and want to watch them. And I just think you could have just moved a few matches. You could have moved, maybe not Sheamus Hardy, but maybe even the women's title. You could have moved Oscar Nia Jax to the pre-show, put Apollo and Andrade in their place, get rid of the Raw tag titles, and then stick in AJ against Bryan. And that Backlash would have been amazing, finished with the greatest match ever, where everybody's hyped and been built up and been enjoying the night and seen some great matches, and then the finish on a high, rather than whatever the hell it was we watched last night.
Did you enjoy Apollo Andrade? And I thought,
yes.
I thought everyone seemed to say it was really good for like 6 or 7 minutes. I was just like, Neil liked it, you liked it. I was just.
It was solid.
All right.
It was solid. It was fine. It was a decent match.
Apollo retained the title, didn't he? I'm trying to think how it ended. It was just.
Garza tried getting involved. Kevin Owens came off commentary, took out Garza, and Andrade got distracted, I think, and then Apollo hit his powerbomb on him for the pin. Yeah, it's bringing Kevin Owens. It's keeping that. It's getting a feud going with Zelina Vega's faction. It was, if they'd have been given a few more minutes, and had that on the main show, everybody would be talking about it as a banger, as WWE fans like to. It was just wasted on the pre-show, to be honest. But it was fine. It was solid. You can't say more than that.
Yeah, well, they had a great match on Raw, didn't they, the other month? So they can definitely do it. The opening match on the show was Bayley and Sasha versus the Iconics versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Bayley and Sasha retain the belts here through yet another. Every pay-per-view on WWE, we seem to get these, every show even, we get these flash pins. I think the match was, I thought it was sloppy. I thought it was poor. I thought the Iconics were terrible. I didn't think it was not, people are saying it was all right. I thought it was badly wrestled. I thought it was amateur hour. Didn't like it. That dive from Peyton Royce was horrific. And nothing else to say on this. I didn't like this match. I thought it was very poor. Yeah,
completely agree. When you've got Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Alexa Bliss, especially in a match, for, like I say, for it to be that sloppy. Usually with tag matches, you get the opportunity to see one of the team get thrown out, so you get a one-on-one situation, then another of the triple threat come back in the ring, and another. So you get a good sort of story, a good flow to the match. And this was just throw all three of them in a ring. That dive to the outside was horrendous. I think it shows the Iconics haven't been on TV, haven't been wrestling in front of anyone for a while, because they were definitely missing a step. It's the same thing we're getting every week now, like you just said, every show with Bayley and Sasha Banks. Will they, won't they? Are they friends? Are they not friends? If it were me and you, and people kept saying to us every week, "Are you two going to fall out this week? You're going to fall out. You're going to argue this week." In the end, I just want to go, "Will you fuck off? We're good mates. Will you just leave it alone?" And that's what they do. They're building it up, and it's WWE banter. That she's backstage. It's not Charlie Caruso. It was the other lassie interviewing her, and she's like, "Oh, do you think Banks is going to challenge you? Do you think she's going to waste your title?" And it's like, stop feeding and teasing possibilities that you haven't got an interest in pulling just now. They keep dripping the Banks Bayley split up. It was supposed to happen at Mania 35, that match.
Year before. I'm sure they were doing this 2 years ago.
34. Aye, because they were going through couples therapy at one point.
They were brawling backstage and stuff. That was years ago.
Yep. Then
But
they were supposed to split at Mania, and they lost the titles, and then they just went, and then it went quiet because Banks went on holiday. Then it was supposed to be SummerSlam. They were gonna no, we'll move that. Then this Mania this year, just forgotten about, and it's like just pull the trigger or forget about it, and it's always going to be one of those questions hanging over. What you're constantly now just waiting for them to, and by the time they eventually do split and argue and beat each other up, I've got a feeling people are going to be very much not interested.
yeah, well, they're clearly not going to do it because WWE, they love the swerve. That if they're talking about it happening, it ain't going to happen. They're going to want to do it when you least expect it. So it'll, do you know what I mean? It'll, unless I can't see it. Let's save it for WrestleMania next year.
As soon as they hinted at it last night, I was just like, nah, that's Bayley and Banks winning. And it spoils it because if you know the formula enough, everybody watches the product enough. If you know the formula, you know how it's going to end up. And by having that interview, by laying, and it's just disappointing. Yeah, but anyway, the match didn't help itself. Nikki Cross isn't getting anything to do. I don't know what's happened to her. Well, I do. She got promoted to the main roster. Like I say, Alexa Bliss, solid as ever. It could have been It could have been a great match, and it was
and it wasn't.
No.
Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. I think I can't remember what tweet I put up because it was like I was having a coffee overdose. But only in WWE, right, would you have a guy try and frame you for attempted murder, and then in the big blow-off match, instead of getting your comeuppance on the guy getting his comeuppance, sorry, instead of that happening, no, the guy who tried to frame you for attempted murder beats you clean in the middle of the ring. Again, I don't know why he won this match. If he was going to win it should have been by shady tactics to build for Extreme Rules. Instead, it was clean. We don't need to see this match again. It was clean. Bro kick on the outside, bro kick on the inside, yeah. Pretty much clean. 1, 2, 3, done. I don't need to see Jeff Hardy at Extreme Rules. If he can't get himself up for a match where someone's like done what they've done to him, then I don't want to see this match at Extreme Rules again. It's done. But we know the match is going to happen at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, that's exactly why. That's when you said you don't know why it was. Well, yeah, we know exactly why because of 50-50 booking. Didn't Jeff get didn't they have a match on SmackDown? Oh no, last week I think. Or they had a flare up and Jeff got the better of him and then he threw the piss on him. I firmly believe, and again, this is WWE in the banter era. I firmly believe that they're going to have a match at Extreme Rules. I think the reason for that is because we're going to find out that Sheamus didn't frame him. I really do believe. I do not believe that Sheamus was involved in that. I think Sheamus loves the fact that he's a bad guy. His character is saying, well, if you want to hate me, you hate me. I fucking hate you for everything you are, and I'm going to kick your head off. But Sheamus has never come out and said, it was me. He's never come out and said, I haven't heard him come out and say, yeah, I did it.
Tebbs, I'm going to be honest. I know you're a big film fan, yeah. You know, like
Sami Zayn has got red hair and a red beard.
No, you're overthinking it. I'm telling you, WWE, you would be better at booking this than WWE will because you think about things. You think, we'll tell them that this is going to happen, where this can happen, which will then result in this happening, which will be a great story to tell. WWE just think, fuck it. Let's have him pretend to mow him down by a car, and the week after we'll forget about it. I don't think there's any deep thinking going on here.
I hope there is.
There's not. I don't think there is.
Right, we'll have a pound. I seriously think something's going to happen on SmackDown where the truth will come out. The hacker will show Sheamus.
What happened to him?
The hacker will show Sheamus in another location. Sheamus will be like, see, fella, it's not me, but I still hate you. So let's have a car crash on a pole match or whatever at Extreme Rules. Sheamus will want his revenge. I just think there's something like that coming. It's too wishy-washy at the minute. Where they said a red hair and a red beard when Hardy first came out, there's a point. Everything that's written in that script is there for a reason. They never said a witness saw Sheamus do it. A witness saw somebody with red hair and a beard. Sami Zayn's pissed off that the Intercontinental title has been taken off of him. He ruined the tournament by framing Hardy. I think there's more to this than this, and I think we're going to get that match at Extreme Rules. That's going to be hopefully it'll be Jeff Hardy. Well, we'll see what happens, but I think there's more to come from this one. I really do.
I think they will have the match, but I've been there last August. I was like, oh, they're gonna do. I'm a big fan of Daniel Bryan. I'm Roman Reigns. Thought they're gonna make this feud great, and they just blew off who attacked Roman Reigns. It was never mentioned again. They didn't have a fucking clue where they were going week to week.
I thought this told everyone that Rowan did it.
Yeah, but they had like Rowan sat there across from his twin and all that.
Then there's a twin one.
Then Luke Harper came. They just had a tag match, and it was just blown off as nothing. Like no one can remember the end of that story because it was shit. But yeah, I thought the match itself went.
Yes, let's talk about the wrestling.
I think it went 17 minutes, and it was one of the matches where at points thinking, yeah, it's good, and then at other points I'm thinking, Sheamus put an horrendous looking Texas cloverleaf on Jeff Hardy, and then the spot at the end where I hate this, right? This is how bad it must have been. Sheamus, yeah, he gets Twist of Fate, yeah, and come on, you've been doing this for 12 years, Jeff Hardy even longer, right? You shouldn't have to then get yourself. I don't get right. Twist of Fate, you land flat on your chest. Yeah,
yeah, so, I remember this.
Why is that? Why is the Twist of Fate a transition into a swanton bonnet? It never used to be. It's only been like the last few years, right? You land on your chest, so why is the guy landing on his chest, then flipping across to his back, shuffling a bit to get into position?
I could see Sheamus.
This was fake. You do now.
Yeah, he was kind of moving his body around so he's parallel with ropes and stuff, but there was a lot of stuff that was sloppy from it. It really was. Sheamus was stopping the Swanton Bomb at one point, and it kind of just didn't get there in time, and it knocked Jeff's leg, and he kind of fell, and everyone fell together. The whole show was just sloppy. It was far too long. 17 minutes. Yeah, I can get that. I wrote down here, my notes get worse as I got more drunk through the night, but far too long. If you're going to have Sheamus win and win clean, Jeff Hardy, okay, in the realms of the story, Jeff Hardy is, he wants revenge, he's been insulted, he's been aggrieved by this man. He should have come running out, and it should have been an absolute brawl from the first minute. It should have been 8 minutes of them just slugging each other. Somebody brought it up about The Miz and The Fiend, or Bray Wyatt. Was it TLC last year that they had their match?
It was, but I didn't watch it.
So you've got Bray Wyatt, who's been terrorizing this guy, his family, endangering his child, and The Miz comes out for his match in his full ring gear. He does his little spin and his wave to the crowd and his point, and he comes down, he gets on all the turnbuckles, and he does all his entrance things, bang on. And you just think, you hate this man. Why are you here dancing and showing off and spinning around like a prick when you want to get in there and fight him? That should have been how it was last night. It should have been an 8-minute slobber knocker. Sheamus was far too dominant through the whole thing. And for him to win clean, it's difficult to see how they're going to move this one forward. Unless new developments happen on Friday night. Stay tuned.
You read my mind, Tebbs. I was led there on that settee. Oh, you can't see it. That settee over there last night, dying. I'm half asleep, yeah. I'm not paying attention. I was basically concussed. I'd had about 7 or 8 coffees throughout the day yesterday. Starbucks drive-through. Oh, I can't think what I got. White chocolate thing, Frappuccino. It was amazing. Anyway, right. So I'm sat watching this. I'm at half past out. Not really paying much attention what's going on. Note taking had gone out the window. And I'm half asleep and I thought, why is Jeff Hardy coming out giving it all this? I'm thinking, you've just had this happen to you. And I want to make a little bit of a comparison because I'm glad you hit it right on the head in what I think with stuff like this. And it goes back to, why, if this guy's done this, why would you want to go out and have a wrestling match with him, right? When I was in 2004, I would have been 12 turning 13. I didn't know much about anything, right? Sorry, it's the depression, right? And I remember thinking, right, at Survivor Series, Kane buried The Undertaker alive, right?
Literally,
and then The Undertaker came back. He's haunting him. The build-up was great. Undertaker's come back. You've just been buried alive by your fucking brother.
Yep.
You're fuming. What do you want to do? Let's go out and have a wrestling match with holds in it. And as a 12-year-old, I'm thinking, this should have been a fucking no DQ match. And another example, WrestleMania 25. Randy Orton, He RKO'd Triple H's wife. He sexually assaulted her. He kissed her without consent, yeah? Right? What happened? Oh, let's do a wrestling match. No, make it a no DQ match. A great example of what you just said, Tebbs, right? What this match should have been. Let's go to Jeff Hardy's brother, Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy versus Edge, SummerSlam 2005. We was all hyped for this great match. The feud didn't call for a great match. Instead, these two in real life or whatever, what Edge had done, whatever with Lita, they went out there and it was a fucking horrible match. They're just hitting each other. The match ends in DQ after 7 minutes, yeah? But in essence, that made sense. The match should have been made, say, non-sanctioned, but it wasn't. It was just, do you know what I mean? It was a wrestling match, which, in a wrestling match, if that has happened to you, you're not going to want to, you don't care about going out and wrestling. You want to beat the fuck out of the guy. So that's exactly what Edge and Matt Hardy did. So that match makes sense. This match didn't.
Nah, you imagine you're in the same building as the man that has tried to frame you for something. Yeah, I mean, I've never been an alcoholic, but I know people who've gone through those troubles, and it's a horrible disease to get over. And Jeff Hardy's obviously doing well with it. The ethics and the morals around that storyline is another thing altogether. But in the light of the storyline, this man, in his eyes, is trying to make him regress back into the ill person that he was as a drunk. He wants to highlight the fact that he's a junkie and an alcoholic to the world stage, insulting him to his wife and kids and belittling him. And you imagine you go to the Performance Centre yesterday, ready for Backlash, ready for the pay-per-view, and you, based on what happened last night, Jeff walked in, he was in the changing room, probably Sheamus is next door, and you're mad, you're angry, and you're walking around, you go to catering, and then you go get ready for your match, and you're both waiting in Gorilla, and then you walk out to the ring, and then you go for him. And it's like, no, you'd have gone and fucking jumped on the guy as soon as you saw him because you hate him. And it's that's what storytelling is. Storytelling is not just working the leg and then putting a submission move on somebody. Storytelling is believing that this guy hates this other guy for the things that he's done to upset him. And coming out, doing your finger pointing, finger guns, Team Extreme dancing, it's
clapping to the crowd.
Yeah, hi guys.
We watched SmackDown. You watched SmackDown, didn't you?
Yeah.
Throughout the show, these two are brawling backstage. They can't keep their. You know what I mean? And then you get there, and it's like, oh come on, let's lock up. Yeah,
but there's a reason why they didn't make last night no DQ. Is because Extreme Rules is going to be no DQ. It'll be a car park match or something. It'll be another, fight in the car park.
Count anywhere, I reckon.
It'll be Falls Count Anywhere. Oh, no, it'll be kendo stick or it'll be a chairs match or some bollocks. But I seriously think, I keep going back to that. And yes, like I say, I was half a bottle of Jack Daniels down into this theory, but I really do believe that they'll have a bit of a blow off and something else is going to happen with this story. I hope
you're right. I'll happily pay £1 for them to do a good story with this feud.
The first time Sheamus comes out and says, yes, I did it, I framed you, I'll pay you £1.
So I don't even think that'll happen. I just don't think it'll be mentioned.
It's just forgotten about now. Move on.
Dropped. It won't be. It'll be like Michael Cole might go, oh, do you remember when he mowed down Elias with a car? And even goes forward to say when Elias comes back, he won't even feud with whoever. He won't mention it. He'll just come back. Hey, Elias, has he got a torn pec? I know it was a pec.
Yeah, torn pec, yeah.
Right, Tebbs, Oscar, I know you're going to have fun with this one. This is where I was really starting to die. I was that tired I couldn't even reply in the group chat at this point. And then I had the Fire, WWE Network doesn't work on my Fire Stick. It's pausing. It's fucking annoying.
Clear the cache file.
Yeah, I've done it. It just doesn't seem to do anything. So I was like, I was a minute behind, didn't even realise. And I looked at the WhatsApp group and it just said, what does it say? It just said, well, no, something like nobody got any points there. And I was like, fuck's sake, every time I always end up. That's why I always leave the group. I always get accident. No, but I said this to Neil. Said just mute it. But you know when you go on your WhatsApp home screen.
Yeah, you can still see
it. I'll get a message of a customer the next morning. I'll go on it and I'll be like, I don't know, podcast wrestling, and it'll be like, fucking Velveteen Dream lost, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So that
always winds me. It used to wind me up. It still does. Tuesday morning, I used to get up for, I still do get up for meetings at work. I've got a meeting that I go to at 7:15 on a Tuesday morning every week. So I used to think, right, I'll ignore everything I can about Raw results so I can watch Raw when I get home. I'll ignore everything. And you just open Twitter just for something, or by accident or through habit, and straight away so it pops up. And then you see like 5 different wrestlers trending and piss thrown on Sheamus, hashtag or whatever, and you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So yeah, I get you there. Right, Oscar, Nia Jax, let's do it.
Tebbs, what you've just said, the fucking G1, right? I'd watch the G1 all last summer, every day, 4 or 5 matches, yeah? And I thought, it's a Monday, the final. I'm going to have to go to work. I'll avoid everything, right? And just out of habit, months of building up for this Ibushi Jay White match, right?
Yeah.
I just habit click Twitter. And the first thing I see, Ibushi with loads of confetti. I was just like, oh, you fucking joking. I'm going to sit through a 40-minute match between Ibushi and Jay White, and I know who's won. So yeah,
it's those Twitter accounts that they call themselves wrestling journalists, and it's like, no, you've got a subscription to the Observer Reporter, but whatever. And they'll say, spoiler warning, click here for G1 results. And the picture is literally the guy holding the title.
Yeah.
WWE do it. So, you go on your website, Backlash, find, click here for the results from last night. And there's a picture of Randy Orton stood over Edge. And you're like, fuck, Jesus.
Well, Snapchat have started doing it. Snapchat. I went on Snapchat this morning before I watched the match. And there's a picture of Randy Orton. I was just like, fuck. That shows it was a good match. I basically knew Orton was going to win, and I was still, as you said at the start of the show, pretty enthusiastic by it. Oscar Nia Jax, I keep taking you off topic here. I was off asleep, so all I know is it ended in count out, and it was shit.
Shit. Garbage. Lazy. Pointless. Insulting. I've lost my thesaurus.
It's just like we said on the pre-show, innit? I mean, on the preview show that we did. All these matches, a lot of them are just going to be built into Extreme Rules, and this was another one.
But why? Why? I text somebody. I don't know if I text Neil or you or whoever last night. Like I said, it was pretty hazy. But you've got the belt on Oscar. You don't want to take it off. You don't want Oscar to get pinned. Okay? So you put her up against somebody. Now, if you want Nia Jax to be the danger, then you have Oscar versus Natalia, Oscar versus Liv Morgan at Backlash, which, we're not saying this is anyway an A-level pay-per-view. This is very much B-level territory. You could have stuck, no offense to Liv Morgan or Natalia, but you could have just set up a random match for Oscar against Liv Morgan, Oscar against Natalia, and just had the match and have Nia Jax interrupt. If you want to protect Nia Jax, because that result last night was about protecting Nia Jax. Just think about those words that I've just said. That result was to protect Nia Jax. How many pins and submissions has she had? How many times has she been made to look like a mid-tier women's wrestler? No offense, and I really don't mean to be personal. She is where she is because of her family members and because of her size. And it's insulting that we watch a women's title match. I don't like that the Raw and SmackDown. It should just be the one and cross, but anyway, that's another story. And you have a lazy double count out. Nia Jax is trying to get Oscar back in the ring. Oscar hits her with a move, which ends up getting the double count out because that extends, the time it takes for him to get. So Oscar was the one initiating the move, which caused the double. So it looks like Oscar doesn't want to get back in the ring and wrestle for it. It looks like she was trying to. I don't know. I know there's more to it than that, but it is lazy booking. It's crap. It's insulting. You're protecting a wrestler that doesn't need protecting. You could have easily had any other female talent. Dana Brooke, Oscar, Tamina, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott. You could have thrown anybody in there, given them 10, 15 minutes against Oscar to look good, build up another talent for God's sake, and then have Jax come in, beat them both, double DQ, whatever, and then you set the storyline up for Oscar versus Jax at Extreme Rules. Instead, we're going to get the same crap next month except with kendo sticks. And it's lazy, it's garbage, and I'm done with it.
Yeah, it's 4 more weeks of build up to Oscar Nia Jax. If Nia Jax saying Oscar wasn't worthy of being handed the belt from Becky, that's the next 4 weeks. So next we get a match worthy of probably the biggest title in WWE. Braun Strowman, who I'm sorry is shit, versus John Morrison and The Miz in a fucking handicap match that could have happened on any fucking middle of the card SmackDown in the year, and nobody would have given a shit. There must be better people out there than fucking a tag team to face. If that's all you've got, that's all you've got until Bray Wyatt comes back. I mean, the match itself, I was half asleep. I thought they could have at least teased Otis maybe cashing in. They could have had Bray come back. Instead, it was nothing. This
it
match
was nothing.
Is where I said, lads, I'm off. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
We're fucking sad cunts. We're all late 20s, early 30s. Early 30s, Tebbs. I was 90 there. Early 30s. And we're sat here, 1 a.m. on a Sunday morning going into Monday watching this shite. I'm off.
Here you go. Take Braun and The Miz and Morrison, put that on SmackDown, put Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles on Backlash. You've immediately got a better card. And WWE don't want to admit that one of their top titles is absolute trash right now. It should be one-on-one for a title. I mean, teasing the whole... I mean, I tweeted at one point, they're going to break up Miz and Morrison before Bayley and Banks. And they were hinting that Miz and Morrison were going to be turning on each other. Miz pulled Morrison off him for the pin. And it's like, it's not going to happen. And if it is going to happen, you're not going to put the belt on either of those two boys while Braun Strowman's got it. We all know what's going to happen. And then I'm watching it afterwards. I go for a cig in between matches because I'm an addict. But I was waiting to go for my cig, and I'm watching Strowman, and he gets to top at ramp, and I'm like, this is where all lights are going to turn out. No, okay. This is where Bray is going to come. No, okay. Oh, this is where Otis. No. And there's the commentators. Absolute nothing match. Waste of time, waste of talent. I'd have preferred to watch New Day against Miz and Morrison in a SmackDown title match.
Yeah, it was
I believe the only reason Strowman was on that card was to have his car in the car park for the next piece of shit that's coming up. I genuinely believe that's the only reason. And I'd never say it to his face because look at the size of him, but imagine being a Universal title holder. Why do you need my match to go ahead? Because we need your car windscreen to get smashed. Pathetic.
Yeah, it was shit. It was shit. There's no need for it to happen to me. If you clearly don't trust Braun Strowman enough to give him more than a 6-minute match, but yet you'll have Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles go out there for 35 minutes on SmackDown, why don't you just have Braun Strowman as the Intercontinental Champion and have Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles as your main title match? Braun Strowman, I'm sorry, in 2020, we don't need the big monster that can't wrestle as the champion. You need to be able to go. You need to be like the next match, which surprised me a little bit. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. They're two big guys who Bobby Lashley, I wasn't sure he was capable of putting on a decent match, but Drew McIntyre certainly is. So if you're going to have a big guy as champion, make sure he's like Drew McIntyre and can work. Because Braun Strowman just don't cut it for me. And I used to like Braun, but he's just out of his depth.
I like Braun. I like Braun. I really do. He's not my favourite. Well, he's my favourite wrestler. He's my favourite sports entertainer. He's not my favourite wrestler.
Oh, see, I think he's bad. He's a bad actor. Did you not see him when Jeff Hardy had been framed or whatever, and he was like, he's acting? I was just like, I loved Braun. I thought he was great. I used to use his gif of him going before I was going to every away game, and then that Nicholas bollocks happened at WrestleMania, and it just killed him for me.
But I like him. I like the character. I like the gimmick. I like the big man thing. Yep, you're absolutely right. I was going to say this. He can be used in the same way the Big Show's been used. Maybe not turning more than a waltzer, but use him as a Big Show type person. He can come in. He can have key matches, comedy matches. He can have fill a card up. It don't need to be Universal Champion. Yeah, it was Intercontinental Champion up until February. Was it January, February when he was?
He was when it was. He lose it to like Sami Zayn, didn't he?
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, who then got pissed off and ran over Elias. But then you've got, so you can use Braun in that way. You don't need to put the big strap on him. Look at SmackDown now. You've got Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Matt Riddle, Cesaro. Any of those would be a better Universal Champion than Braun Strowman, just because of the matches he puts on. He's not a great actor, but and that last night, Miz Morrison, they're great together. We know they are. The
music video.
I know we're going away from Drew Lashley. We're going back a minute, but we saw the music video. Pre-show, and then we stick it. And do they just assume that most fans don't tune in for the pre-show? Well,
Neil had the right idea, playing COD or whatever he was doing.
I'd have stared at the fucking wall and watched most of this, but I'm losing my train of thought. It was shite, but I don't tune into a wrestling pay-per-view to watch music videos, especially shite ones that are badly written and badly performed. It wasn't even funny.
It was nowhere near as good as that opening performance we saw on Takeover in your house last weekend. That you think you
know what? No, it wasn't.
It actually wasn't, was it?
I hated that, and that was better than that. I don't tune into wrestling shows to watch music videos. A live performance of somebody's entrance, fair enough. If I'd like it, I like it. If I don't. But I don't tune in to watch gimmicky crap. This was an episode of Raw with half an hour extra.
With the greatest match ever.
It was shorter than an episode of Raw, or it's about the same. This was an episode of Raw. You've got double count-out decisions, you've got 50-50 booking, you've got a women's tag match that ends in a roll-up, you've got Kevin Owens getting involved in something. It was an episode of Raw with a fucking... Yeah, I didn't like it. Drew Lashley.
It was good.
Yes, that was good.
It was good. It was good.
Yes, that was very good.
Tried to kill Drew McIntyre when he threw him. I was half asleep this morning. I'd literally had it on for a minute, and I was like half paying attention, just coming round, having my first swig of coffee. I looked for, did he just kill Drew McIntyre?
He nearly did. Dropped him right on his head. I'm assuming he hasn't got a concussion or anything like that, but hopefully he's all right. It was a good match, and these two guys can move, and we keep going back. I'm happy. I'm all right saying it now. We were talking in the group chat about something I'd seen on Wikipedia, which is why I thought Lashley was going to win the match last night. Wikipedia had that it was going to be Lashley versus Drew versus Brock in a triple threat.
Oh, fucking triple threats! I hope that.
And I thought something was going to happen where Brock was going to come out and cause the DQ, which was going to set up a Lashley versus Brock match at SummerSlam. But look, we can dream, can't we? As a match, it was fine. It was serviceable. Again, I don't want to see title matches get. I mean, what was Lana doing coming out saying how her husband, she was saying Bobby cheated or someone cheated.
The ref cheated, I think.
Right. And then, first of all, MVP, what are you being paid for as his manager? Get his wife away. Keep her away. Stop her getting involved. MVP is his man on the outside. Your manager is supposed to protect your wrestler. That's my understanding. He's there to do all the shenanigans as a heel when the ref's not looking. But also, if I had a manager on the outside of the ring, and my missus just came storming down to my office, I'd be saying to my assistant, keep her away, will you? I'm trying to win a world fucking title. But instead, MVP just watches her go walking past. Oh, there she is. She's going to get involved. She might cause a DQ. Yeah, this is exactly what I want as a character. It just, get rid of Lana. Serve divorce papers. Get rid of her. Let her go to AEW with Rusev.
Oh.
See you later. She is not a good wrestler. She is not good on the microphone. She was
when she was like Russian or Bulgarian. When Rusev first debuted, she was great, and then they've just killed her.
Yeah,
since they've turned her into the American typical LA sort of bimbo character. Yeah. When she was like serious Russian, whatever, she was great. But of course, if an act is great in WWE, you split them up. Rusev and who was the other guy? Great
Adrian English.
Yeah. But hey, so this match, I thought it was good. It was very good. It was a good match, a lot better than I thought. Drew McIntyre is certainly proving Danny wrong. I think he's been great as champion. Even Danny will admit that now that he has been a lot better than you'd think.
Yeah,
I just hope that they don't have, because Paul Heyman's gone, which we ain't even spoke about, because Paul Heyman's gone, because the ratings are low on Raw, I hope they don't think, Vince will think, right, he might think Drew's not working, we'll shove the belt on Orton right now. And I do think Orton should win the belt for this Edge match, maybe, at the end of the year, but I'd like McIntyre to at least win whoever he faces at Extreme Rules, beat Brock again in front of a crowd, and then he can drop the title.
I'd thinking back to that now, I'd have Edge spoil Orton's chance at winning the title, which sets up their Mania match. That'd work. So you have Orton, McIntyre at Royal Rumble. Orton's about to win when Edge comes in and spoils it.
I don't like that babyface coming out to cost the heel the title. Do you know what I mean? I don't like
do that.
Yeah. They do that from time to time, but I think Edge. I don't know. I think it'd suit Edge to be like, maybe come in, win the Rumble and be like, look, Randy, I knew what I was getting into with Randy. He was the better man on that night, but it's 1-1. You took me out, but I'm back and I want to beat you for the title at Mania. I think that's
I suppose
like Edge's sort of character.
Even if Edge was coming back, Orton can say, there's no way the only way you're going to have a match with me is if you win the Royal Rumble, so Edge has to come out and win the Rumble or something. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Look, we're going back to that bit, but McIntyre is great. He's really surprised me, and I didn't really rate him up to a time, only because he didn't get given the time to shine. And the matches that he's had since becoming champion, especially, he fully deserves it. I want to see another match, McIntyre-Lashley. I want to see him in a cage. I could see that at Extreme Rules. Them two, I think, in a cage match would be brilliant.
Yeah, keep Lana out and MVP.
Yeah, you could do that. Keep everybody out. Have these two in there, done and dusted. That's fine. I want to see more of both of them. It's just, I just don't like the shenanigans at the end of it. And this card had 4 bits of shenanigans, which just have your World Championship match end in a 1-2-3 clean pin and move on to another challenger.
Do you know what shows how forgettable some things that happen in WWE could be? I was watching the Undertaker documentary last night, part 4. I didn't remember this Undertaker and Roman teaming up to face Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, and it were only 11. I probably did a podcast talking about the match. I don't remember it taking place.
Was that Backlash last year?
No, Backlash didn't have a Backlash pay-per-view last year because 2018's Backlash pay-per-view was that bad. But they had it was at Extreme Rules last year.
Yeah, it was after, because we saw Taker on the Raw after Mania last year. Yeah. And then he went quiet for a bit. And then what were they called? The dog.
It was Elias, Drew, and Shane by the looks of that match.
Taker and Roman Reigns, they were like the dogs of, not the dogs of war or something. It was like, I remember they had a tag team, and that was the way to get Taker on.
We did say, sorry to cut you off, I just come into my head, we did actually call on the preview show, without patting ourselves on the back, that this match, Edge Orton, would end with Orton saying he wants the big wrestling match, a pure wrestling match, and he'd cheat to win, which he did.
He did. He kicked him in the nuts, didn't he?
Low blow and then booted him in the head. So
I thought it was just going to be a straight low blow RKO, done and dusted. So I didn't know it was going to go on 44 minutes. But
he better bring that back. And keep it. You've done it once now. You might as well keep doing it. Right.
Again, I can see him not using it until the next match, and he's about to use it on Edge, and Edge gets up and spears him or something. That's the storytelling. That one move, and I don't appreciate little things like that as much as you do. And you're absolutely right. I'm trying to think back, and he hasn't used the punt for a few years.
It got banned. I feel like, what do you mean you don't appreciate little things? You mean that it'd been that long?
Yeah. So even noticing that a move hasn't been used, and he used a move last night. I can't see those little things as well as you can. So
I used to love the punt though. They did it. Was you watching it? Were you watching WrestleMania 27 Orton versus CM Punk?
No.
So what happened was CM Punk was the head of Nexus. Yeah, and each week there was 5 members of Nexus, and every week leading up to Mania, Orton would get one of them on their own and punt them backstage in the ring. And it was, the crowd were going crazy for it every week. And then they fucking banned the move. But yeah, that was a great. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm sending you the link to the Randy Orton CM Punk video package from Mania 27. It was fucking brilliant. But anyway, let's talk about. It's over to you because I apparently, from what I've heard and what you said before, made the right decision of skipping the Street Profits versus War Raiders match, or whatever they're called. I've not seen it. Should I see it? No.
No. And people are going to say I'm a miserable bastard, but I've got no interest in talking about this.
1.05 on Grapple it got. I seen it and I thought, I'm all right. I'm
wasn't
good.
a match.
I'm good.
It was a cinematic clusterfuck.
It was cinematic.
It was supposed to be a match. It was supposed to be a match between them two, and it was announced 6 o'clock our time, so it would have been announced about midday in America on the day of the show, that a match between these two. And then they put on McIntyre Lashley, and then they go, well, now we're going to go for the Raw Tag Team match, and it's like, okay, well, something's up with it because you don't put that on after your main event. And they're scrapping in the car park, and then they end up going through Braun's windscreen. So hilarity, Braun's car's been damaged again, even though we don't see him.
I like that though. That actually, I don't know if
that's it.
Childish.
And then you remember from the last few weeks they've been doing these.
Yeah, I've enjoyed them.
Okay, you might enjoy this then. And I haven't.
Well,
I don't choose.
It should have ended with a wrestling match. The blow off should have been a wrestling match. By the sounds of it, it wasn't.
They were wrestling from the car park through into the building and then back out, brawling. Golf clubs were coming out at one point, bowling balls into nuts. All the old stuff. The War Raiders were wearing shields. And then Tozawa. Is it Tozawa? Akira Tozawa?
Yeah.
Yep. He turned up with his ninja crew.
Not racist at all.
So he turned up with about 5 ninjas, and he was screaming away at them. He had one big dude with him, so I think that's going to be his new dude. So the War Raiders and Street Profits got together to take on these ninjas. And then somebody started having a daydream, and everybody said that either Eric or Ivar was very cute. All the women were saying how cute he was. And then it came back into the match, and then they all jumped into a bin together.
It looks like that sounds terrible.
I'm saying I'm not doing it justice. It was comedy without the comedy. It was wrestling without the wrestling.
So it wasn't as good as the In-Betweeners movie then?
It was better than that. No. If you've enjoyed the spots with the War Raiders and the Profits, if you found them funny over the last few weeks, if you've been interested in that and you want to see the payoff to that, then watch it. Then you might enjoy it. But for me, it was comedy without the comedy. It was wrestling without any wrestling. I know it's not 3 a.m. in America, but I'm staying up till 3 a.m. to watch a wrestling show, and then they just drop on a terrible comedy sketch. No, I don't want to think about this ever again. To be honest,
I'm glad I wasn't watching that at 3 a.m.
If you've enjoyed it and you like these two tag teams, but for some reason,
how long did it go?
God, it was about 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I like it for like 2 minutes to break up Raw. I thought it was good to maybe get them over. 20
it felt
minutes.
like it. In fact, I'm going to have a look.
They're killing these cinematic matches, aren't they? They're killing them.
It was supposed to be cinematic, and it was. If you want to call it cinematic, then it was cinematic. Oh no, it might not have gone on. I'm saying 20 minutes. I was half asleep at the time, but it was just not interesting at all. It was not funny. Like I say, a bunch of ninjas turned up at one point with Tozawa turning up, and he wasn't even in a tag team last week, I don't think, and now he's part of a stable. And no, let me have a look at 2 hours. It went on at least 15 minutes.
Oh, flipping heck. So yeah, that might be why I'm a bit more positive. I haven't watched this. I think I'm more positive. I feel like I've watched 2 pay-per-views. I watched a shit pay-per-view last night, and I got up this morning. I watched a pretty good Bobby Lashley Drew McIntyre match, and then I watched the greatest match of all time. Fuck you, Omega Okada's. Yeah,
that'd do for me. That'd have done for me. And again, no,
I was saying
really
to someone,
can you see why I was so down? Sorry, can you see why I was so down on Edge Orton after sitting through all this?
Possibly at that time, it wouldn't have helped my mood. This morning, I was saying to someone, I said, this must be like what normal lads feel like when they've like got with a nice looking girl the night before. I was walking out the house this morning after watching that great match. I was whistling, I was tap dancing, I was saying hello to everyone. I was having a great time after the Orton Edge match. But yeah,
yeah.
So
it's still going now. I'm fast forwarding through 15 minutes it lasts. If you've got 15 minutes spare, you probably told me I'm wrong and you found it hilarious. But yeah, some days I wake up after staying up late for a pay-per-view and I think, you know what, yeah, that was worth it. And there's some Saudi shows and there's pay-per-views like this where I just think, why am I bothering? Why am I bothering?
The greatest match ever. This is the greatest show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could have done. I could have woke up this morning and watched it. And I'm thinking Extreme Rules, unless there is actual matches on there that I'm thinking I really want to watch that match, I ain't staying up for this shit.
Your only problem is when you don't stay up, I feel like you're either spending all day rushing to get your day done to watch it, and then if you're watching it at like, say, 5 o'clock, I don't know, for me anyway, little girl, like in and out, I have customers messaging me. That's the only good thing about watching it late at night, but then on the other hand, you're tired. I think
for me, it's been part of a group of people all watching the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, I like that bit.
Your mates are sat watching it, texting you. Everybody else is watching it. You're getting instant opinions. That's why I love watching it live. There's, you could pause it for half an hour and go and do something. Well, I might as well watch it recorded. You watch it when you first woke up in the morning. That is not the mood anybody wants to be in when they're watching wrestling. It's probably one of the problems for me with New Japan shows. Because every time you want to watch them live, you've got to wake up half asleep, cold cup of coffee down your neck to try and get yourself around. Cold? And then you've got to start watching. I drink cold coffee. Yeah. And then it just wakes me up in the morning. And then you've got to sit and watch. Then you've got to sit and watch a wrestling show. You're just not in the mood for it. So yeah, you've then got to spend your entire day acting like a frigging MI5 agent, trying to avoid Twitter and avoid spoilers. And then you get home and you put it on, and then there's something else distracting you. So yeah, I love watching wrestling live. It's the only way I want to watch pay-per-views is watching them live.
It is how they were intended to be watched.
Say again?
It's how they were intended to be watching it, really.
Yeah. And if they're gonna make me feel like this, I'm not staying up. I'm not putting myself.
I remember Bray versus Seth Hell in a Cell, right? And I was sat there, and obviously the match was just. You'll never see another match like that. It was so bad, but it was so newsworthy. And I was like, I was sat there. It was October, and I remember being sat there, and it was like pitch black when the match finished. And I'd spent that much time on Twitter ranting. It was like daylight. Birds were whistling by the time I actually went to bed. And I was raging. You just not stayed up live though, because I was sat there. I was like, I need to speak to someone. I couldn't speak to you. I couldn't speak to Neil. I messaged Danny saying, Danny, whatever you do, just watch the Seth versus Bray match. As soon as you wake up and ring me, I need to speak to someone here about this match.
Oh, that was that, and I just don't get how they can employ professional wrestling writers, and they come up with such formulaic garbage week after week.
Can I just say something? Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, go on.
How have we managed to turn this into a 1 hour, 20-minute podcast almost? I messaged Neil saying, do you want to do the Backlash podcast? And we'll probably only have about half an hour's worth to talk about. And he was like, no, I don't want to talk about WWE. He's probably sat there watching his New Japan show.
He's just texted me now asking if I've watched New Japan. I feel awful for telling him no, but
I looked at the card. I'd look fucking shit. I'll see what he's saying to me if there's been a good match.
See, New Japan's one of them that when there's a big show on, I'll watch it and then I'll ask you lot to tell me what's been going on with it. I mean, what's on at the minute? This Super Cup, New Japan Cup.
Oh, New Japan Cup.
That starts tomorrow. So what is it? 2 hours a day? For about
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that long, actually.
To be honest, I'm seriously thinking of just kicking WWE into touch now and focus somewhere else, because that last night, if that's what they're going to keep churning out, then they can have it.
WWE is just a thing.
Until
I'm
SummerSlam.
so close to getting rid of it. They just won't go away. They'll always. It's shit, but they'll always draw you back in.
You know what though? They're getting rid of the free month.
Yeah, they are
on the network. Look, it's gone now. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay for it last night. I'm glad I didn't, and I was close to doing, unless somebody else could help me out. You know, somebody help me out.
Why didn't you use Neil's login?
Yeah, I did. That's what I was trying to dance around. I'm missing, but
Guilty.
I was gonna pay. I was gonna pay for it because I wanted to watch the WWE pay-per-view live, and I was thinking a tenner is worth paying. And watching that last night, if it gets to 5 to 12 on Extreme Rules night next month, and the card's like that, I need you to remind me of this because I'm not paying for that network now. The free month was good because you know what? There was a lot of the times I'd sign up with a new email address and I'd keep it running for about 2 or 3 months, so they'd get some money out of me.
Yeah,
but then I'd cancel it again. Now you don't get that free month. I'm going to look at that card and I'm just going to put a bit of paper up somewhere saying don't forget Backlash, because that is not going to get me paying for a fucking pay-per-view. Never. No.
I love it. An hour and 20 minutes worth of riveting That's how passionate we were about it.
Jesus, we did 2 hours last night on James Bond. So
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't
get to plug it again at the start. Whenever we start talking,
no, people don't tune in to hear about me.
Yeah, I know, but they're going to hear it, aren't they? No, if anyone's got this far, you need to get a fucking life.
For all two of you out there.
Yeah.
No, I host a podcast about movies called the Movie Chef Podcast at Pod Movie Chef. We're on YouTube and Anchor and Apple and all this kind of stuff. Two fat lads who are kind of drunk talking about movies, and we have a laugh. And we had our first review this week. Somebody on Twitter reviewed us. They said,
right.
What was it say? If anything, this is fun for their accents. Now you've got me with the Yorkshire accent. You've got him who's from Northern Ireland, and it's this woman from America. So she's probably just turned it on. She's heard me go, "Hey, up, how you doing?" He's like, how you doing? Hey, you all right? And then suddenly she's like, "Nope, fuck this, I'm turning it off." Oh, their accent sounded funny. So yeah, we've had his first review, but yeah, that's us anyway. So
it's like listening to George Best and David Batty talking about proper films.
It's more. I need to be careful who I say he sounds like, because he's let's not go into this.
I like the Northern Ireland accent. I can just hear the commentator going, David Healy has scored for Northern Ireland. I don't know what. No. I like the Northern. You can tell the Northern Irish accent compared to the Republic. I can always tell the difference.
We had the best one ever was Jason Byrne, the comedian.
No,
he's an Irish comedian. My work's Christmas party booked him as the entertainment, so he turns up at our work Christmas party last year, and he just said, he says, "You always know Irish people." He says, "You can make up anything as long as you just make it sound right." He says, "You can walk up to somebody in the street and go, ding dong dilly dong, ding dong dilly dong now, come on now, ding dong dilly dong," and he just went on like that for about 3 or 4 minutes. I've never heard a room laugh so much about somebody piss out of themselves. But no, we have a good laugh anyway. That's us. There's the plug. But so are you excited? Are you staying up for Raw tonight?
Am I? Fucking no chance. I will probably watch it tomorrow evening. Back in the day, I used to I'd be in year 10 at school on Pro Plus, getting me through pay-per-views and Raw. Oh, what the hell? That's why I'm so thick. Pro Plus,
the equivalent of travel sickness tablets. They're.
I know. No wonder I failed my GCSEs. That's how thick I am. I can't even say it. But yeah, we're still recording.
We're still here. Still with us.
We're still here. Thanks for listening, everyone. Subscribe to us on YouTube, at Twitter, at NeutralRes. www.patreon.com/Neutral Wrestling. Tebbs will be back to preview Extreme Rules, I am sure, waving his $10 and his £1 that he's giving me from not mentioning Sheamus mowing down Jeff Hardy, or should I say Sami Zayn. So yeah, that's £11 next month before Extreme Rules, Tebbs. Do you want me to transfer I owe you a £5 because of the bet on thingy. I'm guessing you own Neil. Do you want me to just transfer Neil 10?
I was going to say that. Just send
Does
it
that
straight
make
to
it
Neil.
easier?
He's already texted me reminding me I owe him it, and I just didn't want to sort of say get it off Dan before actually speaking to you. So yeah, if you don't mind,
I'll do
we don't so much as get bet with each other, bet with money between us now. We just basically pass a fiver between each other.
Pass a fiver each month.
Once a month, we all just pass a fiver to each other, and I don't think anybody's actually seen it. We just gets moved around. So
yeah.
It's good fun, though. It's good fun. It makes it it makes it more fun. Well, I don't know about doing the cup, the New Japan Cup. But I think Neil wants to do a fiver a night.
The thing is,
I hope not.
with it, right? It's so hard to predict. Like
Yeah.
they just know what anyone can. New Japan Cup. It's known as like the other year, Zack Sabre beat Tanahashi, and everyone's like, "What?" Then he beat Naito. So basically, anything can happen in the New Japan Cup. They see that as like, you know what I mean? Like, put it this way: Okada won't win the New Japan Cup if he's in it. They give it to someone for like, yeah. But anyway,
you're telling me a wrestling company actually builds up lower card stars into something worth watching? Jesus, what is this witchcraft? I don't want any of this.
Yeah, Sami Zayn next month. He'll be revealed as the Hitman.
Or Heath Slater.
Kids. Right, that's it. We're off. An hour and a half. Somehow we spoke almost an hour and a half about Backlash. It was the greatest match ever. See you later. See you later, Tebbs.
Bye-bye.